welcome aboard. My name is Tio, the captain of this vessel, and I'll be your touring guide for the next roughly 35 minutes. Now, as we get started, we do have some rules. They're very simple. Rule number 1, please no tobacco products. That does include vaporizers. We are tobacco and smoke free. Rule number 2, no running up and down the aisles. Life jackets. The blue cabinets up front, allegedly yours are there. Look at me, I have mine, best of luck. But seriously though, we've never gone down. I don't plan on starting today, but theoretically, we can go down. So if we do go down, please don't panic. Most of this is only 5 feet deep. Stand up. Save yourself. That's right, ma'am. I'm 5'11". I got you. First thing we're going to talk about is this mall. River Center Mall opened up in 1988. It sits on 10 acres of land with over 1 million square feet of shopping for your enjoyment. With over 125 stores and a massive food court. 3 places to get pizza, 4 places to get ice cream, or carbs that you can shake a stick at. It's not a place you want to come to if you're on a diet. Now the music you're hearing comes from a band named Andy Infusion. They're from Peru. They play many songs from their homeland and stylings of contemporary and American classics. My friends who have not lived until you have heard Pink Floyd on a band I'm sure. But if you like what you're hearing, they do play here every day from 11 until roughly 8 o'clock at night live. Now, one of the most remarkable features about this mall is that the mall has its very own hotel. If you look here to our left, up above the wall, you're going to see the Marriott River Center. Opened up in 1988, it is connected directly to the mall. Now, before this hotel was built, there was a small problem. There was another building here. This building is called the Fairmont Hotel. The Fairmont had been open since 1906. It was historic, so they couldn't tear it down. So in 1985, they went to the Guinness Book of World Records by moving that hotel. This is what they did. They took 36 specially designed dollies, they put it underneath the 3-story Fairmont Hotel. They raised it off the ground with hundreds of pneumatic air-cooled tires. That hotel, my friends, weighed over 3 million pounds. Then they moved that hotel 6 blocks over the course of 6 days at the rate of 0.04 miles an hour. Watching that hotel get moved was like watching turtles race up hill. When they finished this move, it went down to the Guinness Book of World Records. It's the heaviest building ever moved on wheels. One of the largest buildings ever moved through city streets. And in just a little bit, I will show you where they moved it. Now coming up on our right-hand side, my friends, directly to our right, you're going to see a statue. This is a statue of San Antonio de Padua. He's a patron saint of children, patron saint of lost things. It's also the man that the city of San Antonio is named after. You see, what we're going to be doing our tour on is on a real river. This is San Antonio River. It goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. But the San Antonio River was first discovered in 1691 by the Spaniards. When they first arrived here, they arrived here on the feast day of St. Anthony on the Catholic calendar. So they decided to name the river San Antonio after him. But there were already Native Americans here. They were the Payaya tribe. And they had named this water Yon Aguana, which in their native language meant place of restful waters or place of peaceful waters. Now coming up on our right-hand side, up above the tree, above the stone wall, you're going to see St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Built in 1868, it was the first church opened after the Battle of the Alamo. It was constructed by the German immigrant community that was here so that they could have a place to worship in their own language. And that tradition continues today. You can have services right over here in German, English, and in Spanish. And on some Sundays, they have an all-German singing choir. As you're going through this area, I want to point out these vendors. This is actually not part of the tour, it's just something I like to do. Fun thing. These vendors that you see here are part of the Riverwalk Arts and Crafts Fair. This happens like once every other month when we have a holiday. Like tomorrow's Columbus Day. It's a chance for local artists to come down here and display their wares. A lot of people, those people want jewelry over here, clothes over there, wallets over there, different kinds of stuff, handmade materials, lots of arts and crafts. The reason why I point these guys out, it's not because they pay me, it's not because they give me swag, it's because of my grandmother. My grandmother likes to travel. She likes to buy her favorite grandson, this guy, presents, like shirts. And every time she travels, she buys a shirt that says, my insert person went to insert place, and all I got was this t-shirt. Now folks, to be honest, I love my grandmother, I do. But every time I see those t-shirts on someone else, all I can think to myself is, oh, so that's what was left in the airport gift shop. But for the price of a t-shirt, you guys are going to be here tomorrow, today's Sunday, it's a slow day, some of them are packing up. But if you guys come out here for the price of a t-shirt, you guys should buy something really cool that shows someone that you cared, versus the thing that said, wow, I was an afterthought. Now, we're entering onto the natural course of the San Antonio River, right here. I want you to look in front of our boat, up and to the left. You're gonna see a hotel. This is the Hilton Palacio del Rio. This hotel is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the fastest constructed building of its size. 21 stories tall, my friends, 500 rooms, and it was built in 200 days. Real time, they built this in just under 7 months. Now, the reason they had to build this so fast was the city of San Antonio in 1968 hosted a World's Fair. It's called Hemisphere 1968. 1967, the flagship hotel for the World's Fair did not exist. No one had built anything. Well, there was a gentleman here by the name of H.B. Zack. He went to the city council and he said, look here, I can build you this hotel. I can build it on time, I can build it under budget. If I don't do what I say I'm going to do, I'll sell you this hotel for $1. It's a win-win for us, but how do you plan to make this miracle happen? We'll look to the left and I'll tell you exactly how. I want you to look at the first row of rooms. Notice how they look like they're sitting on a shelf? That's because they are sitting on a shelf. The way that this hotel was built was that they built the first 4 floors right here on site. In a factory south of downtown, they manufactured every single one of the rooms. Every room is self-contained, the plumbing, the electric, and the furniture already installed. Soap was in the soap dish, drapes are on the windows, little Gideon Bibles were in every single dresser. Then they bought this hotel in room by room on flatbed trucks, with cranes and with helicopters. They stacked this hotel like Legos. It was finished 2 days before the start of the World's Fair in 1968. That's a really good thing too, because this hotel, it was completely booked before they started. Now remember the hotel that I told you that they moved from the mall? It actually sits right next to the Hilton Hotel, behind this restaurant, the Little Rhyme, on our left-hand side. This area that it sits in is called La Villita, the little village in Spanish. After the Spanish arrived here in 1691, they started to colonize this area. What many people don't know is that by the mid-1850s, we saw a huge influx of many different nationalities. There were not just Mexicans here, there were Asians, Irish, Jews, but majority of Germans and Czechoslovakians settled in this area. Now today, it is home to many shops, restaurants, and artist galleries. Now the crown jewel of La Vita is this open-air theater that we're coming through. This is called the Artisan, and it opened in 1941. Seats 800 people to the left, to the right, that's a stage. This is built by the Works Projects Administration, the government agency that put people to work during the Great Depression. Now, how many of y'all have seen the movie Miss Congeniality? Yeah, awesome. Remember that part of Miss Congeniality where she was on a stage? This is the stage. That movie was actually filmed in here and in Austin. Now, if you look at the center of the stage, you're going to see 5 bells. Those 5 bells are dedicated to the first 5 Taco Bells that were opened in San Antonio. No, I'm kidding. And some of y'all just nodded along. Taco Bells. No, those 5 bells are actually dedicated to the guy who, to the missions of San Antonio. And the center bell is dedicated to the gentleman who designed the Riverwalk, Robert H. Ivy. Everything that, as beautiful as the Riverwalk is, my friends, all of this actually started off as an exercise in flood control and river beautification. It was completed in 1941. Now over here to our right-hand side, this is the Briscoe Western Art Museum. This building started off as a public library in the early 1900s, gifted to us by Andy Carnegie. Stopped being our library in 1968. It recently just went under renovation and opened up as the Briscoe Western Art Museum. Just opened up a couple months ago. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I first heard about the Briscoe Western Art Museum, first off that went through my head is, man, that's a lot of loads of dove pictures you're going to hang in there. But it actually turns out to be really cool. Not only does it just feature Western art, because that's the name of the museum, Western art, shows frontier art, not just from Americans and the cowboys, but from Mexicans, the indigenous peoples that were here before. All different types of things here. How many of you know Pancho Villa, the outlaw? They have some of his personal effects in here on display. One of Santa Anna's battle swords is also on display at this museum. Now, if you look to the right corner of our boat, you're going to see a diamond sculpture. The sculpture is called Father Massenet's Table. It was dedicated in 1991. And it commemorates the 300th anniversary of the first Mass given in San Antonio. 1691, as I said, that's when the river was discovered. Father Damien Massenet was the priest who gave the first Mass here. It sits on what is currently known now as Marriage Island, because on average, one wedding a day happens right over here. Now, they say it's very fortunate to be wed there on Marriage Island. I know this to be personally true, because one of my fellow boat captains has been married there before. 4 times. As you come around the corner, we're going to see a brick building in front of us, green tile, bell tower. That is the Barron County Courthouse. That courthouse has been open since 1896. It's never been shut down, and it's one of the oldest courthouses in the United States. However, it pales in comparison to my favorite building, which is on the left-hand side. This is the Tower Life Insurance Company building. Opened in 1929, it was known as the Smith Young Tower. Built in a neo-Gothic architecture style, at a price tag of $3 million. Now, the owners were superstitious, so they added gargoyles at the very top of the building. These gargoyles were said to ward off evil spirits. Now, I want you to look at the second-story windows. Now, right there underneath the second-story windows, you're going to see some faces. These faces are called grotesque. Grotesque are said to ward off bad luck and bad business. However, it did not work out well for these guys. They opened up in August of 1929. That's right, 2 months later, the American stock market crashed. These guys lost everything. This building was constructed for $3 million. Ended up being sold at 1/10 of the price after bankruptcy for $320,000. Just real quick, over here to our right-hand side, you actually don't even have to really look at it. I just have to point this out to you. This building is the Hope & Suites. Opened up in 1995. This is an example of adaptive reuse. Adaptive reuse is just a fancy way of saying we don't like tearing down old buildings. We like using for new things. That building used to be the San Antonio Drug Company from 1919 to 1963. Now back to the tower. As you come out from underneath this bridge, I want y'all to look behind the boat, above the bridge, back of the Tower Life. You're going to notice that this building looks like a tall ship. This was done by architectural design to make this building look like it was entering the waters of the San Antonio River. It's also an excellent opportunity for anyone with a camera to get a really good picture of your handsome boat captain. Notice all the flashes that just went on. Over here to our right-hand side, this is the International Center, over the trade offices of NAFTA, also the North American Development Bank. This building used to be our public library up until 1998. Now we're going to exit off the natural course of the river. The river goes to the left. We're going to go to the right. As we do this, I want y'all to start looking to the left and behind the boat. You're going to see where the river looks like it disappears on the horizon. Okay, where we just left, we just passed over floodgate number 4. It's in the water, underneath that archway. It comes up like a drawbridge. Behind us is floodgate number 5, also a drawbridge. Over there to our right, where we just came from, 5 feet deep. Right here, 18 feet deep. Now, the reason we have this flood control, the way this works is, the river used to flood a great deal because of the shape of the river. It's shaped like a gigantic horseshoe. So we have 2 gates, one on each side of the horseshoe, amongst others, but the ones that we're concerning ourselves with right now. We have 2 gates, one on each side of the horseshoe that we seal off. When we do that, we drop down that gate behind us, which sends all this water back down to its natural depth of 5 feet, allowing us to divert the entire San Antonio River and any excess floodwaters through this channel and out of the horseshoe they used to flood. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to flooding, it wasn't a new phenomenon for us at all. We put in flood control. As a matter of fact, when the Spaniards first came here, they built the Alamo. That's not where they built the Alamo, where you see it today in Alamo Plaza. The Alamo's been moved 3 times. That's just its final resting place. Even back then, the Spaniards knew it flooded and they moved it. But we didn't do anything about flooding, even though we knew it flooded until 1921. Spring of 1921, in the middle of the night, there was a flood so bad that in 4 hours, the river went from down here to 9 feet above street level, killing 52 known people. When we say 52 known people, we know for a fact more people died. The flooding was so bad, it literally washed away people, no bodies to recover. We just had to list them as missing. So at that point, the city wanted better water management. Originally, it was going to spill in the horseshoe, pave it over. The San Antonio Conservation Society stepped in, fought the city, forced them to find an architect, found a guy named Robert Hugman, built this between 1939 and 1941. Did this for $420,000. The most remarkable thing to me is that they built it because they were eventually going to have to put flood control in here anyway. The guy who designed this, when he came up with this entire idea,